farm works very well. Once the water comes out, you don't lose. Yo, what's good everybody? In this video, I'll be teaching you how to build my concept V1 fungus farm. It's one of the most simple and efficient fungus farms out there, and let's get it. Okay, so here are the materials needed for farm itself. These are the materials needed. It is not the exact number, but these are the materials that are required. Okay, so first you're gonna want to dig 5 blocks into the ground like this, and you're gonna place 5 ice, and then you're gonna dig this for your water stream to collect all the fungus. So for example, if you're gonna build it like this, then your fungus are gonna be on this side like this, or this side like this. It cannot be on this side. Now once you've done that, you're gonna want to surround your blue ice in glass like so, just like that. And now you're gonna sculpt out the pistons for your fungus farm. Okay, so first you're gonna go onto the side that the ice is enclosed off of. So water is gonna be right here. You're gonna put the water and it's gonna flow this way, right? So this side's gonna have a glass block. You're gonna place one more glass block, and then you're gonna place a temporary block and 5 pistons like this. 5 like so. And then you're gonna get your dirt and your crimson or warped nylium and put 2 rows of 5 like this. 2 nylium in the middle, and you're gonna place a dispenser right there on the below the one on the left, and then you're gonna place dirt around the fungus, so you get a pattern like this. It should be a 5 by 6 with two crimson or warped in the middle. Now you're gonna place 2 temporary blocks like so. Break the first one and put 4 pistons like this, and then you're gonna break this temporary block and replace it with a piston. Now you're gonna want to put your glass right here, and you can continue this ice just a little bit like so. Then you're gonna want to come to the bottom side of your pistons, and you're gonna place a piston facing to one of the sides below the middle piston, the third one right here, 1 2 3, below like that. And then you're gonna place a piston on the same side facing the same way, just like so. Now you're gonna get yourselves your observers. You're gonna come down here and put 3 observers looking into the piston, and then make sure it goes into the dispenser right here. Do that for both sides, and once you're done, you're gonna get yourself your hoppers and put hoppers going into dispensers and leading it out, just like that. Now you're gonna place 2 temporary blocks like so, and place 5 observers facing upward, just above the pistons like this. Now you can break the temporary block. If you look up, there's gonna be the faces going upward. Now you can do the same thing, 2 temporary blocks, and place your 5 pistons and 5 observers like so. Once you're done with that, you can place your activator rails above them and do it for both sides like so. Now you're gonna get your glass and place 5 glass on the same level as the observers on both sides like this, and you're gonna place 1 more hanging over your ice right here. And now you're gonna get your fence gates and place 5 fence gates going like this, so it's on a block directly above the ice. Now you can place your water like so, and we can build the second module. So before we start building the second module, we need to place 5 ice like this, and we also need to place 2 temporary blocks right next to the observers. Once we've done that, we're gonna place an observer on top of the temporary block with the red dot going into the activator rails and the face going to the outside. We can do that for both sides like this, and then we're gonna connect our glass going up. Now you're gonna place your 5 pistons again going right next to the temporary block, so your building block, and you're gonna do it for both sides, like so. And then you're gonna place your 5 observers above your pistons. And once you've done that, you're gonna place your pistons under the piston like this, and make sure this one is going looking at the same way as this piston. And make sure there are no blocks in front of it so it doesn't malfunction and push the block. Make sure you do the same for the other side, like so. And now you can put your activator rails on top. Once you've placed your rails, you can place the dirt pattern we did on the first module. So you're going to place 2 rows of 5 dirt in each row. Place 2 crimson nylium like so. Warped as well, works. And then you're going to surround the nylium so it's in the middle. And make sure it's a 5x6 with 2 crimson in the middle. Now you're going to come below the farm to the middle block. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the middle block. And 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 on each side. This is the middle block. Break the middle block. Get yourself a dispenser. And place it so it's facing upward into the crimson. You can see if we break it. And now come back down here. You're going to place 3 observers with the face looking into the pistons. And the dots look going into the dispensers. Now we're going to place our glass like we did for the first module. But now we're going to wrap it around back here like so. And we're going to leave the middle block for a dispenser. These are only 2 modules, but you can always build more and more. Like, you can always build on, you can keep on going on. As long as you keep the same pattern, putting ice and then dirt and then ice and then dirt. And as long you can build however many modules you want. For the sake of the tutorial, I will only build 2 for the first row and 2 for the second row. Show. 1. You can add fence gates like this, so it'll collect and the water actually flows properly. Once that is done, you're going to want to place your pistons for the second row. The second layer of it, my bad. So first, you're going to place your pistons like this. Pistons on top of the activator rails, like this. And you're going to do this for all the places you have activator rails. Like so. And then you're going to plot out where your dispensers are going to go. So first, you're going to get yourself the observers and no blocks. You're going to go to the middle block. You're going to place an observer, a no block, and then an observer. And make sure this observer first is looking to the middle activator rail, like so. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So there's a gap in the middle. You can do this for however many modules you want to build. Just like so. And then with the middle block, we're going to place a dispenser like this. Now that that is done, we're going to have to find a way to funnel our find a way to get our bone meal into the dispensers. So we're going to connect hoppers like this, or we're going to let it go through the gap right here. Do the same for this. Funnel it like this, and let it go through the gap right here. Just like that. Oh, let me connect this one out as well. Don't forget to do this one. Just like that. And now we can build up the walls. You can do this with smooth stone or glass. I'm gonna do it with glass so you can see inside the farm. Just like so. Now you're gonna place your building block, touching the top pistons like this, and you're gonna place your observers going facing upward, going into the pistons. Do this on both sides for the lower part. And for the upper part, you can place a temporary block and then your observers. Once you're done placing your observers, you're gonna put your activator rails on top of the observers, like so. Like so. And once you're done with that, you're gonna come to your last module, aka the module where you have your dispenser, which is gonna be filled with water later. You're gonna come to the place where the layer where the activator rail is, and you're gonna put a note block, I think. Okay, so after you have placed your note block right here, you're gonna place 2 observers looking up. Once you've done that, you're gonna place another note block, and as you can see, it is on the same layer as the activator rails once again. And now you can do the same thing on the other side. Note block, 2 observers going upward, and your note block. Now once that is done, you're gonna come over here to your bottom layers, and you're gonna put an observer looking into this observer right here. The same thing for the other side, like so. And now you can place your dirt / crimson pattern, or whatever you would like to call it. Place 1 crimson nylium above the dispenser, and you're gonna place 1 more on either side. And now you're gonna place your dirt pattern like so. Make sure you leave a gap between like a piston on either side. Either side is fine. And make sure your 2 nylium are in the center of the 5x6. Once you're done with that, you can take your glass and place 5 on each side like so. Place 2 more, connect it up. And now you're gonna take your ice and place 5 ice like this. Once that is done, you can put the dirt pattern again. 2 crimson nylium. Make sure one of them is over the dispenser, and then our dirt pattern around it, making sure that the nylium is centered, like so. We're also leaving a gap. And now we can continue our glass up like this. Fill it up just the middle block, and then we can put a dispenser for the middle block. Now you're gonna place 1 glass right here, 1 glass right here. Make sure you put a block over the hoppers so it doesn't actually go in there. You're gonna connect this down, and you're gonna place fence like this, 5 of them like so. You could just leave it like this, but I recommend putting 2 extra layers of fence so it doesn't drop on the fence, and you get maximum fungus. Now once that is done, you're gonna place 1 more layer of glass above the dispenser, and you're gonna place 2 temporary blocks. Break the middle one, break the first one, put an observer facing upward like that. The same thing on the other side. 2 temporary blocks, break the first one, place an observer going upwards, and just like so. And you're actually gonna place another layer of glass above this like that. And you're gonna go on one side of the observer. You get your building blocks. You're gonna build 1 block out, 2 block out, 3 block out, and 4 block out. 4 blocks out like this. And place 1 block over the second block out. And place 1 block over the 4th block out, like so. After you've done this, you're gonna place 1 block right here under the second block out. This looks something like this. Now all you gotta do is break this block and this block, and this is all you're gonna need. Now you're gonna place a lever on this block right here. You get yourself your repeater. Place a repeater on 4 ticks like that. A redstone right here, and a torch. And as you can see, this will result into a redstone clock, which you can power off with this lever. Now that is done, you're gonna place your activator rails like this. You're gonna place 5 of them. And now once you're over the dispenser, you can place an observer looking into the activator rail with a repeater on 2 ticks and 3 more activator rails like so. Now the farm is basically done. If you activate the lever right here, you can see the platforms move and things dispense like how it should. But we also need to do the storage, the bone meal, and the water. How should we do the water, you may ask? Well, this is a tutorial for the water. So first, you're gonna go under your dispenser on the second floor or the second layer, and you're gonna break the block, replace it with a full block and not glass. You're gonna break 3 more of these blocks, replace the third one with a full block, and you're gonna make a structure kind of going like this, so it looks like a kind of like a mini castle. You're gonna replace this block with a note block, and you're gonna replace the block under it with an observer. Now you're gonna do this. You're gonna make the same structure below, like so. And then you're gonna place an observer looking up into that observer, going into this block. You can leave this block as a full block. Then you're gonna place a redstone repeater going into the dispenser on 1 ticks. And then you're gonna place dispensers right here on 4 ticks, going into the dispenser again. Now you can put your water bucket into the dispenser. Now we can do the same thing for the top. Like so. And now we just gotta make a clock for this to work. So first, put another observer going up like this. And now it's time for the clock.
Okay, so first with this platform, and now you're going to place 2 hoppers going into each other and with comparators going out of it. And now you're going to make these comparators go into a block with a redstone dust next to the block. And now we're going to place sticky pistons next to our comparators, going facing each other like that. And now we just put a redstone block. Now all we got to do is put items into the hoppers and the clock will officially work.
Okay, for the clock, we only did 32 in vanilla as the hoppers are slow. But in donut, I recommend 5 stacks of anything random. Make sure they're stacks of like 64 and not just non-stackable items like water bucket or like beds. Okay, so for the bone meal part of the farm, you're gonna see that on one side where your hoppers are, you're gonna have hoppers like almost scattered around. So you're gonna have to connect them like so. You're gonna build hoppers up like this and connect them like that. So now, if we get a double chest, we can place a double chest like so, and it will split the bone meal evenly between the bottom module and the top module. Now you can do this for all the modules you have, like this, and then put a chest, and boom, just like so. Now you can add more double chests, like simply like this. You can keep on stacking it up, but for the sake of the tutorial, I will only use 1, as I do not need as much. Whoops. Okay, now with this, all we gotta do is make a little ice stream, like so. And I'll just cover it up with glass, surround it with glass, like this. Like so. And we just gotta put water, like this. Your fence gate's covered up on one side. Boom, and then water again. And boom, you got a working ice stream. So now, if we drop bone meal in one of these corners, like this, it will go down the stream and get picked up by the hoppers and go into the farm. That's really it for the tutorial. We got 4 modules right here, Okay, so now that we have everything done, the 4 modules, the bowl meal thingy, and the clock, we can start the farm by flicking the lever right here. And as you can see, the farm works very well. Once the water comes out, you don't lose any bone meal from the dispenser that easier. The water flows out, and it gets back up, so farm starts again. And there are all the fungus. Look at that beautiful fungus.
Okay, this is what you will be needing for the storage system. So first we're going to start by placing a bunch of double chests like this. We can make this 2 tall, however many tall you want, and we can also make this however wide you want. Once you are done placing your chests, you're going to place hoppers facing into the chests. Now we just do the exact same thing, but we mirror it on the other side. So first we place our double chests like so. Make sure they're the same as the other side. And then after that, we place our hoppers looking into the chests. Once you are done with your hoppers, you are going to get your glass and place 1 layer of glass above 1 block on your double chest, like shown as right here. And then you block off 1 side, which is the end of your storage system. Now you're going to place 3 chests where your fungus comes in. And after that, you're going to place 7 iron bars above the hoppers like so. And now every 8 blocks you switch and place the iron blocks on the top and the bottom. Now you can put your water, and if it's correct, it should look like something like this. And that's it for the storage. All you gotta do is make the fungus float right into the chests, and it's just split between both sides of double chests.